Hello. Good evening. I don't know what happened to my chat today, but it's all right because no one's here anyway. So we're going to go ahead and do this video. It's a little later than normal. Today I spent a few hours out with some new friends, people who are new to Rwanda, and I often do that sometimes. So um, if you want to be able to come to Rwanda and say hello, you can send me a message and we can sync up our schedules, then we can meet up for lunch or something. So today we're talking about 5 qualities of a successful freelance writer. 5 qualities of a successful freelance writer. It's not what you think. It's not what you think. 5 qualities of a successful freelance writer. When I say that, the first thing people often think about, is that you got to be an excellent writer. You actually don't need to be an excellent writer. Now you do need to have um, some basic English writing skills that you do have, that you do need to have. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you got straight A's when you were taking English in school, right? These are the qualities that are a lot more important um, when you decide that you want to build a business as a freelance writer. So, number one, you need to have strong research and writing skills. Strong research and writing skills. Why is that so important? Because you need to be a problem solver when you are a freelance writer. Um, I write content marketing materials mostly for the tech industry. And so when companies are working with freelance writers, it's often because they are super busy and they may be shorthanded and on staff, and they often do not have time to hold people by the hand, giving them the answers for everything. Not that you can't ask questions, but you need to be able to ask targeted questions and to able to do, you want to ask good quality questions about the projects that you're working on. You want to be able to do some thinking and say, if you need research or some piece of material that will help make it easier for you to be able to complete one particular assignment, then you want to be able to ask questions about that so that you can do your research. But you do need to be able to have strong research and writing skills. One of the things, um, one of the things that I really had to do recently with a client, where I had to have strong research and writing skills. I went ahead, did the assignment, did all that stuff. Everything was done. I thought I was complete. The client comes back to me and she says, I need to see a version of what it is that you wrote, because what they gave me one document and I was sort of writing based off of what it is that they gave me in this one original document. And so she wanted me to track changes on the thing that I had already written, which is a Microsoft Word um, function. Now, personally, I hate Microsoft Word. I hate it, hate it, hate it. If I never had to work with Microsoft Word ever again, it wouldn't make me any difference. But some companies, for various reasons, like to use Microsoft Word. Personally, I like to use Google Docs, but it's not as secure as Microsoft Word. So I have to use what the company tells me to use. So she asked me to track changes on a document that I have already done. So rather than ask her, well, how the hell do you do that? I had to be smart enough to go and Google the process. And it wasn't terribly difficult. Um, but just the fact that you can go and take what she says or what the client says and look up the answer means a lot to people who are super busy. Now, if I couldn't find an answer, I could have, once I've did some Google research and couldn't do it or couldn't find it, I probably would have just asked somebody else. I know some people who are really awesome with Microsoft Word. That person is not me. But being able to have strong research and writing skills so that you can have good problem solving skills so that you can be an asset to the company that you're working for. That's super important. Number two, you need to be able to be self disciplined. Self discipline, what does that mean? That means that you know how to be able to keep to deadlines. That means you know how to manage yourself. That means you know how to prioritize assignments. There might be sometimes when you're super busy and you've got conflicting assignments with conflicting deadlines, and you need to be able to figure all of that out. You cannot go back to your client and tell them that you've got to miss a deadline, or you don't have time, or you mismanage time. They don't want to hear it. They will be less likely to hire you again for another assignment. That also means that you need to get your procrastination under wraps. Get your procrastination under wraps. Start to learn what it means to do things within a schedule. I like to do things within certain time blocks, or in certain time blocks of the day is when I start to do my marketing. I have another time block of the day where I start to work on client assignments. I make sure that I'm disciplined enough to stick to my daily marketing schedule. Why? Because I'm self disciplined, and I know that if I don't get these things done, I won't have any money. That's all the reason that you need to be able to learn how to be self-disciplined. And really, that's something that you pick up over time if you don't have it already. Um, Next, number three, you need to have a really good work ethic. A good work ethic. What does that mean? It means that you are self-directed. Self-directed. You have to have a good work ethic, and you need to be confident. You have to have a good work ethic. When you do things, when you do an assignment, you want to make sure that you have gone through the entire um, content, what's called a content brief, which is where the client usually will put um, the directions for what it is that they want out of this particular assignment from you. A person with a good ethic will go through it and make sure that they've dotted every I and crossed every T as far as that particular assignment is concerned. A person with a good work ethic will ask questions about the assignment if you have any. A person with a good work ethic sticks to deadlines. And if you can't stick to a deadline, then you need to go back and you need to tell them that you can't stick to the deadline for whatever reason, or if the deadline is unreasonable due to the amount of work that's needed to complete that particular assignment. Let's see, number four. Number four, you need to be resilient. You need to learn how to be resilient when you're a freelance writer. I get rejected on the daily. I get multiple emails, multiple hits on LinkedIn, and then telling me that they are rejecting me for some reason. They're not looking for freelance writers right now. I'm not the type of freelance writer that they're looking for. People will tell you all sorts of things, and you have to learn how to not take those things personally. You can't take it personally. If you are a person who cannot deal with rejection, freelance writing is not for you. I was going to say something about rejection, and now it's gone from my head. So yeah, you need to learn how to be resilient because you're going to be rejected all the time. Oh, there's also a number of people who just ignore the hell out of you when you send them requests to be able to communicate with someone who can possibly hire you. It might take you weeks, sometimes months, to be able to work with someone. I remember there was one particular client, it took me 2 years. 2 years for me to be able to get an assignment from this particular company. And the reason why I actually got the assignment 2 years later was because this gentleman, um, the gentleman that I was communicating with, usually every 2 to 3 months, just to be able to check in to see if he had anything that was relevant to my skill set. As soon as he had something, I was the first person that he connected with after 2 years of keeping in touch. Most people, after the first rejection would have just said, to hell with it. I'm just going to move on, which is fine. You can do that too, so long as you choose to move on. But with certain clients, you'll learn that it might be a good idea just to be able to keep in touch, let them know what you're working on, and you know, you comment on their social media posts on LinkedIn. That's what I usually use to be able to keep in contact with the people that I connect with there. And then number five, the fifth quality of a successful freelance writer is that you have got to learn how to be communicative. You've got to learn how to be communicative. A lot of writers I know are super introverted, and you don't necessarily have to speak to clients unless that's how they communicate. But you do need to be able to communicate with your clients via email. Um, Sometimes companies might have like a Slack channel where they need to know, um, again, keeping up with client deadlines. If you need clarity on what it is that you're working on, if you need to like if it's a long client deadline, I like to be able to keep up with give like a weekly status update on where they are with the project, just so that they aren't sitting around wondering what in the world is going on. Did this person just take our money and go? Especially if this is a new client, you really want to be able to um, wow them by making sure that they left this project in good hands. They don't want they don't want to feel like the deadline is going to come and you are not going to be able to pull through for them. So keep in regular contact with them. And then again, ask questions when you need it. So I'll review. 5 qualities of a successful freelance writer. Number one is strong research and writing skills. You got to be a problem solver. Number two, you've got to have some level of self discipline, be on your deadlines, nip the procrastination in the bud, and also stick to your daily marketing. Number three, you've got to have a great work ethic. Learn how to get some hustle about yourself. Be self directed and confident as far as your marketing is concerned. Number four, you've got to be resilient. Being a freelance writer means daily rejection. People sometimes they don't like your writing, and sometimes people are going to tell you that you're not the person that they want to work with. They want to work with someone else, and sometimes they'll just straight up ignore you for weeks, months, years at a time. You got to learn how to deal with that. Pick up your sad face and just move on to the next potential customer. And number five, you got to be communicative. Everyone likes to know, give people weekly project status updates, just to let them know that you are, um, that you're on it. You got to let them know that you're on it. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Please do like, share, and subscribe to this particular channel. I do offer one-on-one support to people who want to learn how to be a freelance writer, or if you want to be able to improve your freelance writing business and get better freelance writing clients. I learned how to go from making $9 per blog post to making between $500 to even $1,500 per blog post. So I can certainly help you in that area. You can just go to the link in the description, or visit halanablack.com and click on Freelance Writer Coaching. I will see you tomorrow. Peace.